Nothing but blackened teeth woman tells us to let our freak flag fly. She is a Japanese yokai, and the name, I'm going to try to pronounce it, Ohaguro Bettari. I don't know if I'm quite pronouncing that right. But yokai are the spirits of the Shinto religion. They're not just the ghosts and ghouls that things like The Ring or The Grudge might have you believe. And the Nothing But Black and Teeth woman, she's more of a trickster than like a malevolent spirit. Um, she will surprise like young men, passerbys, so forth, by kind of captivating them with her looks, but then she smiles and she has her teeth, painted black like old Japan. That was a beauty standard a long time ago, and scares them off with a shriek. So, kind of fending people off, but in a tricky way, not necessarily being malicious. And I feel like that's something authenticity can do. It really kind of drives people off. Like, you're a deviant from the norm, you're different, we don't quite know what to do with you because we all fit this mold, we operate by these social mores, which maybe you don't. So let's see what areas of our life that we really need to let that authenticity shine through. I've got the Moonology deck here. You're very close to achieving your goal. Gibbous moon. So that's the 3/4 moon. I could even see not suppressing frustration. Because authenticity, you might think of that as a representative of identity, which it absolutely is. But it's also being true to your emotions, to how you feel. If you're frustrated, don't pretend that you're not. You're being very close to achieving your goal. Maybe you have been trying to achieve that goal for some time now. But let's get some tarot. Get a little further into it. This is the Yokai Tarot, which I'm a little bit obsessed with. It's a really good deck. I'm always excited when I get a new deck and I find out that it's from Lo Scarebo, the Italian company. We've got the Eight of Cups here. And it was in reverse. So there's something about this goal. You have to stay in place to achieve this goal. Or maybe it's like the road in front of you, like the gate doesn't open until you achieve this goal. Now, I don't know if that's an actual task of the goal, or maybe like a seasonal, like a mountain road, you're waiting for the clock to turn. And you're kind of stuck in place. Can't back up for some reason. But you can't go forward either right now. Tell me more. Oh, I think that was going to be upright, but now is reversed. The sun. Amaterasu. And I apologize if I'm butchering these pronunciations. She's the chief deity of Shinto. But it's in reverse, so a delayed goal. So I think this is something that has taken some time. And I mean, obviously that's frustrating. Maybe you're feeling a little bit mischievous, a little restless, just because of the length of time things are taking. But I'm kind of getting that something doesn't want to be revealed. Because the one of her hallmarks here is that she's lacking features. But she's looking into a mirror. So a mirror that shows kind of a blank slate. I don't quite have a grasp on that yet. It's like an imitation. Kind of like what I was saying about how she surprises unsuspecting passerbys with that shriek, like walking up behind her, you would never know that like she's missing all of her features, her teeth are painted black. You might think she's, just your run-of-the-mill woman. So is there something going on in your life? Gosh, I hope not, but like identity theft? And this would be something that you already know about, that you know is happening. I don't want to cause anybody any worry or anything. Granted, I think all three of the big credit bureaus, you can get one free report per year from them. May as well. Like, if it's free, go ahead. Why not? I think, because I think for some reason looking at your credit affects your credit for some stupid reason. So maybe do one instead of all three. I don't know. I'm sure you can search and see which is the most reputable, which is the most accurate, and all that stuff, if you feel the desire to. But it's almost like a misrepresentation of some sort. But that it doesn't want to be seen. I mean, obviously somebody's doing something wrong if that's the case. Three of Swords, but it's in reverse. Gosh, what are these guys called? The, like, clattering skeletons? I don't think that's quite right. But I think they haunt battlefields. They're giant skeletons of fallen warriors, I believe. But in reverse, the Three of Swords reads a lot more positively than it does the upright. It's like the relief of heartbreak. But the battlefield metaphor, somebody had to lose. And I mean, if you're going up against somebody for impersonation or something or other, some sort of misrepresentation, that would be a battle. And it seems like you prevailed. It's unfortunate that you would have to get involved with that at all. I feel like there's more. It's like, it's a really confusing vibe. Because it's very like a cookie cutter at the top layer. I'm just trying to describe like what I'm feeling. Like on the surface it feels very normal, but so normal that it's like Stepford Wife, something like that. It's that underlayer that doesn't want to be seen. It's like a persona. Tell me more about this persona. Just need to know more about this other person or whomever is involved. This misrepresentation. Because it's like there's no substance to it. It's like a hollow mask. And I mean, there's a lot of mask imagery in this deck with like no theater, kabuki theater, stuff like that. But it's like a container that I can't see the insides to it. I can just see the outsides, but I know something's in there. But it's like not... not what the container says is in there. Because I thought this was going to be more along the lines of like your authenticity and things like that, but it's like the way it's coming out is the lack of somebody else's. So tell me more about this persona. What is it hiding? Because that's what it feels like. Something that doesn't want to be seen. Something's hiding. It's almost like a visage, a persona that's like so normal it almost fades into the background, like someone you never notice in a crowd, but that's like deliberate. I wonder if we'll see the Page of Swords at some point here, the spy card. Because outside of spy movies, like why would you want your spy to look like James Bond? Like why would you want everybody to know who he is? That doesn't seem very effective. Except for cool action sequences and stuff. Nothing will come of this situation. Void of course. Moon. I don't quite get that. It's almost like giving me a don't bother. Like, don't bother trying and figuring this out. Like, it's too above your head. Like, it's a really snarky energy. I don't know. I wonder if it's that, like, the Saturn and Neptune vibe in the air right now. And the association those have with, like, secret societies and stuff. But that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like, something in plain view that's just, like, too normal. A misdirection. So tell me more. Nothing will come of this situation. Just going with that one. That's too many. Page of Wands. So a page. Oh, and I can't remember what was special about this rooster. Is it like cold fire? Something like that? But Page of Wands. In the reverse, I'm kind of getting that this is someone who thinks they're of a higher rank than they are. Because if you think about the court cards hierarchy, it'd be page, knight, queen, king. But also in the reverse, you can kind of think of that as a directionality between cards. So in reverse, it'd be going towards the Ten of Wands. It's like someone that's trying to skip their burdens. That's trying to like take a shortcut. Can't do that. That's how you end up at the 11 of Wands. There is such a thing. But those lessons eventually come around, and if you didn't do the reps, you know, by the time you get to the next proverbial boulder, you're not going to have the strength to push it uphill eternally. Oh, there we go. 8 of Wands. A message. Fast movement. This is also you can think of it as spell work too, if you are dealing with that in a literal sense, but it can be evil eye, it can be gossip, it can be rumors. It's a lot of hot, like heated energy being directed at one individual. Like, it reminds me of American Gods, if you've seen that, author notwithstanding. The opening scene for like the first episode, where it's like the one guy gets hit with like hundreds of arrows at the same time. It's that kind of intensity. So that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from whoever this Page of Wands represents. Like, you know, don't even think about trying it because we're gonna squash you or whatever. And it's like, it's kind of giving Oz behind the curtain. Like, you just pull that back and like, oh, you're in a high chair. Yeah. So some sort of misdirection, misrepresentation. Like, I don't know, I'm still formulating that thought. Maybe another card will help. Because she represents, I mean, one of the prompts for her is developing a routine that brings you joy. If you like calligraphy, maybe take that up. Maybe start, you know, testing it out. See if that's something you want to do. Just anything that makes you happy, makes your heart sing. But it's like someone's trying to misrepresent themselves. Not entirely sure why. 10 of coins and strength. Huh. And the strength card is interesting. I can't remember his name, but it's like a young boy that has superhuman strength for his size. And that, like, looks can be deceiving. You know, strength isn't always the person with the biggest muscles in the room. You know, it's the don't judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree sort of idea. But these coming out in reverse. This feels like a threat. Like if you even think of messing with me, you don't have the strength. We're gonna ruin your life. Oh, we. I said we. Is there more than one person involved? Could be, because 10 of coins, it could be family. Hope not. But if you grew up in a tense environment, you start to learn the signs of what's hot air and also what's not. And sometimes those are hard lessons, learning what's not. But what I'm getting from this, it's just like all bark. And there's dog on that one. A couple of them. I'm still not clear on like why this is happening though. Just that it is. But I'm getting kind of a like almost funny, like why I oughta, like fisticuffs, you know. So why all the rigmarole? Why the song and dance? What is going on behind the scenes? Huh. Ah. A new start is coming. And your dreams need a practical plan. Taurus. Full moon in Taurus. So new moon to full moon in Taurus. Maybe that's a timeline? I don't know. We're coming up on Taurus season. May? But this one, we started out with you're very close to achieving your goal. And now a new start is coming. So this is all over a goal of yours? Someone doesn't want you to achieve a goal? For why? Oh, and the dice roll I got was Libra, Moon, and the 9th house. What is that? I mean, I know it's Sagittarius. Maybe learning? Travel, philosophy, ethics, wisdom, and learning. Someone doesn't want you traveling? Learning new things? Could be moving forward literally or figuratively. Why are we trying to be stopped? Why is this person or people trying to stop us? How many? 3. We've got Queen of Coins, the Lovers, and the Empress. Queen of Coins is in reverse. I'm kind of almost getting like a to possess the Empress. Because I think like the coloring on her, I think that's an artistic choice, but I don't know. I'm kind of getting like she's imprisoned. Like if you're part of the mysterious Legburs's crew, you know, like where did that come from? But she doesn't look happy, like the expression on her face. But she would be the one in control of the resources. So it's like, I think the candle agrees with me, but entrapment of maybe the Queen of Coins before she becomes the Empress. Like before this new start. Maybe you have been living in your yang energy for some time, and now you're getting an opportunity to go more to the yin side to become more balanced and get into that receptive mode rather than having to be the doer or the protector, the everything. Because that could just be the stage of your journey that you're in, you know. We live in a difficult world. It's often required of us to master those yang skills first. But this is very deceptive to me because it was the Queen of Coins that was in reverse and the Lovers and the Empress are in the upright. So it's like that normal on the outside, but there's something more going on that can't be seen, at least not just from the surface. And I did another water scry too, which was really interesting. It went from like a smoke plume to a tree to a very distinct snake. You know, the oil in the water. And the name that popped in my head was the Norse, the Jormungandr, the world snake, I think is who that is. But the year of the snake, we've got like a week left of that. So maybe this is very now, like in terms of time. Shedding your skin from the Queen of Coins to the Empress. And maybe the Queen of Coins aspect, because remember the Empress is all four queens accumulated. Maybe this is the last queen you're missing in order to really step into your yin era. But it's like I can't get to the why. Like I can't get past the misdirection, just that it's occurring. Because based on this Three of Swords from earlier, there was some sort of battle over something. You know, maybe you know of course, for your context, but I'm just a little baffled. What's beneath the surface? Hmm. I'm almost getting like a banshee type energy. I don't quite know what the yokai equivalent would be, because I don't think it's the Onryo, the vengeful spirit. Could be. But like a guardian. Whatever is behind this mask really does not want to be seen. What is beneath the surface? It's so guarded. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn. It's like new start. The end is nigh. Is there just someone just trying to go unnoticed as this comes to a close? Whatever cycle you're in. You know, the sign changeover in Saturn could have something to do with that. And there's a lot of big changeovers happening too. Because there's Saturn, there's the year of the snake to the year of the fire horse. There's an eclipse in Aquarius. But also in the backdrop, both Jupiter and Venus are exalted right now in Pisces and Cancer. Which is not a frequent combination, so that's really auspicious. But there's this like I don't know, it's almost giving me like a it's just an example, but you've done something and you're getting the trophy for it, you know, the grand prize, whatever. And it's like there's someone waiting near you to snatch it. But we all know you did the work. And like we're all gonna see them try to do that. It's not going to work. So what? Okay. I was gonna say, what is beneath the surface? Oh, Three of Wands. This is an interesting one too. So, can't remember their name, but this yokai is, they're monks. 10th century, I think. They, in order to transcend this, like the material realm, they lit themselves on fire. And if they had not fully detached from material possessions, like in their heart, then they haunt the area where they passed away. So it's like the ultimate test of faith. Like, is what is in your heart truly like what you say it is? Not for this person. Very attached to the material. So that's like trying to snatch your trophy. I don't know, strip it down for its copper? Because you're the one that did the work with whatever this respective goal is. They can't just slide in at the end because, like, I don't know, it'd be like the group project that, like, well, I did the bibliography, like, I get the same credit, but I'm not even getting that much was done. It's like someone that was near you and is expecting by, like, proximity, well, I should benefit off of you because I am near you. It doesn't make sense. Maybe it's because the whatever entrapment for the soon-to-be Empress didn't work, but they can't let it go. You feel entitled to what you have, what you're going to have, what you're going to get. And if so, why? And you might not even need to engage with this person. Like, I don't know what the relationship is. But if they're doing something they don't want to be revealed, but then also feel entitled to what you're earning, what's your reward, like, the math ain't mathing. What else is going on here? This Three of Wands. Five of Swords. Conflict. That's one very large crow compared to, looks like, your average size crow. But this is the Five of Swords. It's giving kind of a Seven of Swords vibe from the artwork. You know, the Seven of Swords is about getting to the enemy's weapons, you know, the night before, so that they don't have them available for the battle in the morning. And that is really what that emulates. But because this is the Five of Swords, and this crow only has 3, it's like that action that they took to try and disable your win has caused them heartbreak. You know, they're stuck haunting the place where they fell because they were still attached to material in their heart. And something about that has led to ruin. What do we have here? I say to ruin, and here we have the Six of Wands. And the Four of Swords. Victory and rest. But this, I don't know if I can really show that. That is a headless horse. And he's holding it by the mane. You know, I guess you can't put the bit in without a head. But that's so brutal. Like, clearly this horse needs to be laid to rest, to be let go. But they're still going. They're still demanding of it. Like, let it rest. Obsession? And look how tired she looks. And she's got that mask. So she could just instantly cover up her true feelings. She's got a mirror. She's not looking at herself. She's got the katana, like, right there. And usually the Four of Swords, that's someone who's resting, maybe eternally. Because it can be like a sarcophagus in that picture. But there are some other decks, like the Game of Thrones deck. That person, their eyes were covered with, like, the painted rocks and stuff. So sometimes it does refer to the long sleep. But it's almost like this obsession with victory is like careening towards demise. Whether that's literally or figuratively. Because I did mention people. We. On the 10 of coins here. Something gets revealed. I don't know. Their group can finally see behind the mask. Sorry, I'm just rubbing my eyes. The group can see behind the mask. So say it, yes, the Kindle. Maybe it's the obsession with victory that ultimately reveals what doesn't want to be seen. So maybe this hasn't quite played out yet. You know, I think if you have somebody in your energy trying to misdirect you, you probably have your suspicions, if not knowledge, of that. If someone is trying to mess around with your identity, I mean, we've all seen those spam emails. They're getting more and more sophisticated. Text messages and things like that. And now with the advent of AI, even more. Huh. I still feel like there's more. One more. Where's this headed? What direction is this headed in? What's the mile marker? 7 of Wands. Huh. Now this is giving me like the my, how the turntables. Would you want to mess with her? I wouldn't. Like, she's giving Super Saiyan vibes. Maybe that's that cold flame. And she's also holding a lantern. That's like, I see you, I know what you're up to. You know, in the Seven of Wands, she has the one on top of the six, and the six are from the previous, like the victory card. The people who are celebrating her now, like torches and pitchforks. So this might be headed to a place where your authenticity is you putting your foot down and saying, enough. This is my victory. I put in the work towards this goal. You weren't a part of it. You don't get a seat at this table. Like, it could even just be somebody that's been in your life for a while. And that maybe, like, maybe you're hitting it big, you know, in whatever respective arena that you're putting in effort in your life. Maybe you bought a lottery ticket, you know, something like that. But it's like, because I am near you, or I've been near you for a long time, I am deserved of assistance or a slice of the pie. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Like, how do you figure? It'd be like if a friend or a family member told you, like, oh, you should go buy a lottery ticket. And you were like, yeah, that's a good idea. And then you won the lottery. And then they're like, oh, you owe me money because I gave you that idea. Like, no, you didn't even buy the ticket. You weren't like, hey, here's, you know, a couple bucks and however much lottery tickets cost. Yeah, it's some twisted logic like that. And then you're going to have to effectively Super Saiyan and be like, hey, these are my boundaries. And they don't move, actually. They're not up for discussion. They're up for respecting and observing and enforcing. But I don't know, like it just seems like you might have someone just around you that, gosh, maybe it's even like a frenemy or something. You know, they're not being authentic, they're not being real, but they're trying to keep this mask on so that they go undetected and they get to maintain proximity to you for whatever is beating us over the head with, like, something new is coming. So hopefully that's not happening to you, you know, because it's never fun to find out, you know, people aren't who you thought they were as the candle crackles. And just use your discernment. You know, there's a lot of distractions in the world right now. Might be a good idea to center yourself with, you know, we're talking about those little rituals that create joy. Cooking, for me, is such a great way to recenter. Like, I like to put on some music, and then I'm doing my best to get back into the habit of distractionless dinners, to where I'm putting on wordless ambient music, like not watching something and just wolfing down my food. But like I just put on my Instagram today, I tried that boars and cheese pasta that I keep seeing making the rounds on Instagram and TikTok and whatnot. It's really good. So just little things like that to recenter. You know, if you like to cook, that's a nice little sense of accomplishment, like you decided to make something for yourself instead of order takeout. Whatever makes you feel good and authentic. And speaking of music, we have a couple songs. Aerials by System of a Down and Bloodsport by Sleep Token. And the YouTube version with him sitting at the piano, I really like. Because I think, what was it? There's like a special edition of that first album, Sundowning, I think it was. It's not Notes from the Underground, that's a book. But it's something like that. Like, there were special versions of the song. It's a lot more melancholy and soulful and really deep, and I really enjoy both of these songs. And he's got such a grit to his voice when he's sitting at the piano. So grounding, connecting with your emotions, and finding joy. So overall, I hope this helps. I hope this resonates, and if it doesn't, I hope the next one does. Thank you so much.